Hey there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another brand new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host, Lance Brock, as always. Thank you for tuning in to right here on Spreaker or wherever you may be listening to the podcast tonight. On this episode, I have a couple of shows to talk about from yesterday. Ring of Honor Final Battle 2022 and NXT Deadline. And let's get right into it. Gotta start off with Ring of Honor's Final Battle from Texas at the Metroplex. The commentators for the show, Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman, who I think are kind of maybe an underrated commentary team. Very good. Have been calling the Ring of Honor action for quite a while now. Have stayed on in the new Ring of Honor since Tony Khan purchased the company. I think they are very good together. And first, we start things off with 0 Hour. Jeff Cobb defeated Dorado. The Jericho Appreciation Society defeated Leah Isom and Cheeseburger. Willow Nightingale defeated Trish Adora. And the main event of 0 Hour, Top Flight defeated the Kingdom, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, and this was a very good match. This one definitely had a lot of exciting, high-flying action in it, and all I have to say is if you missed the 0 Hour for any reason, this is definitely a match that you want to go back and watch if you missed it. Very good match here. You definitely will not be disappointed by going back and watching this one. And now let's get into the main card. Ring of Honor Final Battle 2022. Speaking of Final Battle, in case you missed it, the other day I did an episode of Fanatic Unleashed talking about the first 4 Ring of Honor Final Battles. And now let's get on to this year's. We start off with tag team action. AR Fox and Blake Christian taking on Rush and Duristico. Good match here, I thought, to start the pay-per-view. Fox and Christian get the win. And then after, Rush and Duristico attack Fox and Christian. And the Ring of Honor Women's Championship is on the line. Athena versus Mercedes Martinez. Athena kind of had the babyface reaction here, being in her home state of Texas. And good match. It is Athena getting the win to become the new Ring of Honor Women's Champion at 13 minutes, 44 seconds. Next up, another tag team match. Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, which start things off at their entrance. Keith Lee goes for a fist bump, but Swerve just ignores him and then continues making his way to the ring. They take on Shane Taylor Promotions, and Swerve leaves, but Keith Lee gets the win for his team, 13 minutes, 44 seconds. The Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championships are now on the line. The Embassy, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony with Prince Nana in their corner. Defeat Dalton Castle and the Boys at 9 minutes 43 seconds. Okay match here. The Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling Championship is on the line next in a Pure Wrestling Rules match. The champion Daniel Garcia taking on Wheeler Yuta. And a very good match here, and I was actually quite surprised that very quickly Wheeler Yuta used up all his rope breaks. And I don't know, I don't want to say this was the quickest anyone has used up their rope breaks in a Pure Wrestling Rules match, but I couldn't really remember any other ones where so quickly into the match somebody used up their rope breaks. But it is Wheeler Yuta getting the win due to a referee stoppage at 14 minutes 51 seconds to once again become the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Wheeler Yuta. And that one is definitely worth checking out if you did not see it last night. Next up, as we continue with Final Battle, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships are on the line. FTR and the Briscoes double dog collar match. And to be honest, I was kind of surprised. I wouldn't really been surprised if this one main evented the show, to be honest. And I just want to say this one, as expected, it was a bloody mess. And the other matches in the last year that these two teams have been great. And this one was no different. This one was, I would put up right up there with some of the best dog collar matches we have seen, and definitely bloody. These two teams put it all out there in the ring. But in the end, it is the Briscoes, Mark and Jay, becoming once again the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. After Cash Wheeler passes out and the referee stops the match. He did not tap out or submit. It was a referee stoppage. But very great match here, and definitely worth checking out. And this could be my pick for match of the night. Fantastic match. Two great tag teams here. And definitely, I know it's kind of late in the year, but this could definitely be a candidate for match of the year for 2022. But after the match, the new FTR is attacked by the Guns, Austin and Colton, also known as the Ass Boys. But then the new ROH World Tag Team Champions, the Briscoes, come back to the ring to make the save. And Cash Wheeler gets on the mic and says their mission is to beat the Guns' ass. Next up, here at Final Battle, the Ring of Honor TV Championship is on the line. Samoa Joe taking on Juice Robinson. Good match here. I mean, I think the only bad thing was I think it was a little overshadowed by the match with Darby Allin on Dynamite last Wednesday. I wouldn't say it was quite as good as that one, but it was a good match. Samoa Joe picks up the win at 13 minutes, 37 seconds to remain the Ring of Honor television champion. And now it is time for the main event of Final Battle 2022 for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Claudio Castagnoli challenging the Ring of Honor World Champion, the Ocho, Chris Jericho. I thought this was a great main event with Claudio and Jericho. And one thing I just want to point out real quick, when the crowd did the usual counting for like a punching spot, or when Claudio did the spin, instead of 8, they replaced it with Ocho. I thought that was pretty neat. And good main event here. And it is Claudio Castagnoli becoming the new Ring of Honor World Champion for the second time in his career. And this match had a very interesting finish. And the reason I say this is because I don't want to say this will never happen before, but this is the first time right now, just thinking that I can remember, that someone actually tapped out to the big swing. And it was about 30 swings, and Chris Jericho actually tapped out while in the swing. So Claudio Castagnoli, the new Ring of Honor World Champion. And let me know in the comments, or you can email 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com if that has happened before. But just right now, I can't think of any other time where someone has actually tapped out in the big swing. But who knows? Maybe it actually has happened before. I don't know if I said the time yet, but 17 minutes, 12 seconds for the main event. Very good match here. Very enjoyable. Then we see Jerry Lynn and Wheeler Yuta to come out to congratulate Claudio on his victory. And that is Final Battle. And I just want to talk about real quick the media scrum, or press conference, you can call it, after it was both on Ring of Honor's YouTube and also on AEW's YouTube as well. First, we are joined by Tony Khan, and then he brings in the new Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena. And then the pure champion, or first, I take that back actually. Then after that is the world champion, Claudio Castagnoli, and then the pure champion, Wheeler Yuta. And the Ring of Honor TV champion, Samoa Joe. And then after all the wrestlers made their appearances for the media scrum, Tony Khan took questions from the media like he usually does, and he finally addressed the TV situation with Ring of Honor, if they're getting a TV deal or not. And the question, or the answer for that, is not a traditional TV deal, but there will be a Ring of Honor TV show. They're bringing back Honor Club once again, the Ring of Honor streaming service. And that is where the Ring of Honor TV show will be. I guess Tony Khan, unfortunately, could not get a deal with a regular TV channel for it, but I'm sure it'd be worth checking out, because it's not just the TV show, it's the Ring of Honor Library too, that's on the Honor Club. And I have not subscribed yet, but I checked it out a little bit on my Roku this morning, and it looks good. But my only, I don't know if I would say it's a complaint, but my only kind of minor problem that I would have with it is that it only, for Ring of Honor events, it only goes back to 2013. So, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great shows in between then, but there are also a lot of great Ring of Honor events that are not on there. Who knows, they could possibly add some more Ring of Honor events from the past onto Honor Club in the future, but as of right now, it only goes back to 2013. So I know when I heard of Ring of Honor when it first started back in 2002, but when I really started to become familiar with it was around maybe 2004, when you had guys like Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, AJ Styles, the Briscoes, Claudio Castagnoli, guys like that in there, and even Raven. Maybe that might have been more 2003 when he had that feud with Punk, or when Raven and Punk had the feud in Ring of Honor. And also after that too, in 2007, 2008, there were very good matches. Guys like Nigel McGuinness in there, Adam Cole, and I mentioned Bryan Danielson already. But don't get me wrong, between 2013 and now, today, there are still a lot of great shows in there. Should have all the Global Wars shows with New Japan, and of course have like the more recent Ring of Honor pay-per-views since being owned by Tony Khan. And if you've subscribed to Honor Club already, let me know how it is, either in the comments or on the email 360wrestlingpodcasts@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of it. And I'm definitely considering subscribing. And I don't know if I'm going to subscribe right now, but probably whenever the TV show does start. Tony Khan did not say just yet when this show would be starting, but I'm definitely considering subscribing. It is $9.99 a month, and definitely does not look like a bad deal of what I seen when I was browsing through Honor Club earlier. So overall, Final Battle, great pay-per-view. Definitely a thumbs up show for me. If you missed it, definitely check out the replay, Bleacher Report, Fight TV, and payperview.com internationally. Definitely worth checking out. And now on to another show, NXT Deadline. And maybe it because I just watched this great Ring of Honor show, and it was definitely hard to follow, but, well, this next show I'm about to talk about wasn't quite as good. I'll just say that. NXT Deadline, and I just want to start off by saying, though, the first match I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to because the Ring of Honor media scrum was still going on, and I had that on my TV, so I went to Peacock on my phone and then turned on Deadline, and I was watching it while I was trying to watch both, actually, so, and NXT got my least amount of my attention, so I was watching more Tony Khan, but I was trying to look at the phone too and watch some of Deadline here. In the first match, though, we have the women's Iron Survivor Challenge, and this match, I don't know. The women in this match, Roxanne Perez, the former Roxy from Ring of Honor, former Ring of Honor Women's Champion, actually the last Women's Champion in the past Ring of Honor before being purchased by Tony Khan, and Zoe Starks, Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell, and Kiana, and it is won by Roxanne Perez. I am a big fan of hers. Benna was a fan of hers in Ring of Honor, and good to see her win this match. And Booker T, very emotional. Of course, she trained at his wrestling school and at the Reality of Wrestling. He's actually crying. So this match, I mean, like I said, I didn't pay too much attention, but I'm not really sure how this match works. You get points, and then if you get pinned, you gotta go into a penalty box, and I think it's a match 25 minutes. I think it lasts. I don't know. I just really didn't care for this one. And next up, more women's action. Isla Dawn defeating Alba Fire at 9 minutes, 55 seconds. Next, we have a match for the NXT Tag Team Championships as the New Day defeat Pretty Deadly to win the NXT Tag Team titles. I wasn't really too surprised in this one here, and not surprised that they put the titles on the New Day. And next up is the other Iron Survivor match, the men's one. We got JT McDonough, Axiom, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Joe Gacy, and Grayson Waller gets the win. And at the time, I was watching it more, not like earlier when the ROH media scrum was still on, but that's one I just didn't really care for. Was not a fan of the match stipulation. And now it is time for the main event of Deadline for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker taking on Apollo Crews. I know in the build up for this one, they had breakfast together, they went fishing together. So I mean, this one was actually not a bad match. I did like the main event, actually, to be honest, but still, I didn't really think it was that great of a show. Not saying it was a bad show, but I would say probably thumbs in the middle for me. And once again, maybe it was just like right after watching Final Battle, and then that had such great matches on it, and then watching NXT, and I don't mean any disrespect, but right now, out of all the wrestling promotions that are out there, and I'd probably say NXT is probably the least one I'm interested in. I mean, I still watch it. It has improved as of late since Triple H, or Shawn Michaels is more running it now, but once it has changed back to just NXT from NXT 2.0. It has gotten better, don't get me wrong, but still needs a little more improvement in my opinion anyway. But it was still a good show. But if you watch one of the shows from yesterday, I definitely recommend Final Battle. Great main event. Great dog collar tag team championship match. The Briscoes and FTR. And the main event, great match, but I'd have to say the dog collar match would be my pick for match of the night, in my opinion. And honestly, I think everybody from in that match deserves a round of applause. Great. These tag teams were, unfortunately, won't be seeing FTR in Ring of Honor anymore, I don't think. I think they'll be strictly on Final Battle for now on. But, or in AEW, I mean. Is that what he said? I don't know. So overall, Final Battle was great. And just real quick, I want to talk about something I've heard. There's a chance that Sasha Banks could be appearing at Wrestle Kingdom, the Tokyo Dome show for New Japan Pro Wrestling, January 4th. And I was just listening to Sunday night's main event a little bit ago, where Dave Meltzer says apparently she has told New Japan that she is free to appear there. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 333. Thank you, everybody, for listening, to tuning in, to Spreaker, or wherever you listen to at. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, anything, the email, once again, is 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. Hope to have more podcasts coming up soon. And I did Fanatic Unleashed the other day, and who knows, might have even more episodes of it coming up soon in the near future, or a Watch With Me, or a Throwback Thursday, and maybe in a week or two is when the Pro Wrestling Crate for December should be coming in the mail. So stay tuned for an unboxing video on the 360 Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. And that's all for this episode. Until the next episode, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.